Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am Sean Ferrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. And before we get started, you may be wondering why I'm bringing you a video on a Thursday morning, on an early Thursday morning. Well, it just so happens that I have a little bit of off time from one of my jobs. Not both jobs, but I have off time. Have some vacation time that I'm using this week, so I've been working. So I've been off for the whole week from one job, and it has allowed me to bring you all a video this week. And so that's why I'm bringing you a video early on a Thursday morning. Hey, what can I say? I'm an early morning guy. I've been getting up around this time since forever. And so Thursday morning video. Now I just lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was going to say. Hey, next. That thing just slipped my. Maybe it'll come back to me when I'm talking. Anyway. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. Hit the likes, hit the shares, hit the subscribe button. Spread the word of this channel. Spread the awareness of his channel. I have been picking up a few more subscribers lately, and I just want to say God bless you all. God is God is making it happen, and just want to say God bless you to all my new subscribers, and God bless you to all of my subscribers overall. Thank you. May God bless you all. Now, let's get right to it. Let's not waste no time. So, a counselor told me that I was lifelong. It sounds like that I've had lifelong depression. Sounds like that I've had lifelong depression. And she probably has a point. And she probably has a point when she says that I have lifelong depression. So Jerry West, who's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, legendary basketball player. For those of you may not know, Jerry West played for the Lakers 1960 through 74, Hall of Famer. He said himself he was lifelong depressed. And so this is today's video. It's just kind of like speaking from the heart. The topic is just me speaking from the heart. And oftentimes when I feel like I'm talking to you all, the audience, it just feels like sometimes feel like the words that I'm speaking are really, really empty. so to speak, if you know what I mean. It just seems like that I'm speaking empty words. Um, because there's a feeling of emptiness that probably that I feel, but sometimes empty words need to be spoken. Empty words need to be spoken so they don't sound so empty anymore. Um, I just want to take you back to when I was younger and in high school. I just mentioned how lifelong depressed I was, okay? So depression tells you terrible things, like depression tells you awful things, awful things. So when I was in high school, we all had the girls we wanted to get it with. We all had the girls we wanted to get it with. We all did high school stuff, okay? So I kind of knew the girls that I didn't have a shot with. You see me smile out a bit because there's a lot of humor in this, but the backside of it, I'm gonna get into. I'm getting into that. Okay. Anyway, so we all knew the girls that we. I'm just speaking for myself that I wanted to get hit with, that I had no shot. Okay. And the girls that I did want to get with, that I had a shot with, I had no shot, to say the least. Okay. So the ones I had no shot with are the ones I had no shot with. The girls that I did have a shot with, I had no shot with. If that makes sense, okay. So and so with that, um, I just said depression, tells you really terrible things. So there was a belief about myself, particularly not during high school, but after I graduated, that that I'm not good enough for any woman, or good enough for anything just in general. And you say, well, what does that have to do with mental health? Well, it has everything to do with mental health, because it affected my self-esteem. It affected the way I looked at myself. As I just mentioned, didn't think I was good enough for anything or anybody. Justin Timberlake had a song, as I mentioned several times, and I firmly believed this for several years. It was on a Bad Boys 2 soundtrack. But I guess love don't love me. You can Apple Music that song, YouTube that song, to know what I'm talking about. But Yeah, Justin Timberlake effect is what I call it. I guess love don't love me, and so for several years I believe that, and depression tells you you're not good enough for this. Um, you never be this, you never be that. I remember when I was working in security, and I was working with, um, and I was working with my guy Jose, and I was working with my guy Jose Stewart, and my other guy Larry Williams. Um, you know, when you're dealing with depression, telling you terrible things, you don't feel like you're good enough. It's kind of like it's kind of like hmm, it's kind of like dragging a 20,000 pound rock. It's kind of like dragging a 20,000 pound rock with you. Okay, that's what it's like. It's like you have chains on your shoulders and you're dragging a 20,000 pound rock. You're dragging a 20,000 pound rock around on your shoulders. And how I got through those days, I will never know. Um, because there were days where, and I told Larry this, and I believe I told Jose, but um, no, getting through the week was just getting through the week was like dragging a 20,000 pound rock, as I said. Now, come Friday, the dragging the rock was a little bit more easier because it was the weekend. So, dragging the rock was a little easier on Friday, but the burden was still heavy. And um, the burden was still heavy. And um, so when you have depression telling you all these terrible things, um, and you're dragging around a rock, you'll do anything to seek escape. You'll do anything to seek escape. And my escape was to self harm. My escape was an fatal escape, which was ending my life by suicide. And so it was around the time of 2012, towards mid 2012, where the people I had been working with, you know, Jose was gone. A few other people were gone, and I really saw no need for me to stay there. So I was gone in short order. And and my guy Larry, he left a few months later after I was gone. No, he left a few months later. And so September, October, that was the lowest of low points. That was the lowest of low points. And there was a song by Genuine, Case, Tyrese, and someone else. Can't remember the other guy. But the song was called "What Can a Brother Do for Me?" I can't begin to tell you the number of times I was listening to that song. But it's tough to be helped when you have no one there to really, when you have absolutely no one to help you, okay? And so, my response to that was self-harming. Like I said, I would take a knife and I would just saw my arm until I saw blood. Once I saw blood, I would stop. And I actually took a knife and I began to saw my wrist as well. I began to saw at my wrist. But I caught myself and eased up. And so life for me was just so freaking unbearable at that point. Just so freaking unbearable that just wanted to disappear and end it all. Just wanted to disappear and I just wanted to end it all. And so can begin to tell you the number of times that I cut myself. No, believe it or not, I actually tried to see if I could hang myself. I don't know if I still have them or not, but not those, can't remember what it is, but it's something that something like perfect something, one of those exercise things you see where you put your hands in, then you pull yourself up. And I actually stuck my neck in there to see if I could hang myself, but the thing was too wide, too thick. And so, no, didn't happen. But anyway, yeah, So, um, so there's an emptiness that I deal with every day. There is an emptiness that I deal with every day. And I mentioned empty words. Sometimes it just feels like that I'm speaking empty words to you all. But sometimes empty words need to be spoken because maybe empty words won't sound so empty anymore. And even to this day, right now, as I'm speaking to you all, the audience, um, I just there's a certain emptiness that I feel, even when I'm bringing you all topics, even when I'm speaking to you all, bringing you all videos. It just seems like empty words. Um, so there's an emptiness feeling that I have to fight every day. Then on top of that, it's like you're pulling a 20,000 pound rock. You're pulling a 20,000 pound rock around with you. But you still gotta show up to work. You still gotta do this. Still gotta do that. Um, all while you're there physically, but mentally you're in another headspace because, yeah, um, yeah, um, I saw a post about Real Depression Project saying, no, you can show up to work suicidal, and everything appears fine with you. That's very true. Very true. I found that out. I found that out. Um, I did find that out. Um, I've told the story over. But at my second job, I was at one of my stops. This lady asked me, was I okay multiple times, over and over and over again? And she finally just asked me, are you having a bad day? I just said yes. And because some days you can't hide it. And I just could not hide it that day. Just could not hide it that day. So I'm working to correct it. No, I'm working to correct it. But that's all I was saying about the oppression as well. You know, I can't remember what the saying said, but I'm going to try to get as close as I can to it. I think it was something like, I'll never forget how the feeling of depression, how the feeling of loneliness and sadness made me feel good. It still does. Some days it still does. Yeah. Yeah, I just say, hey, that. And for those of you who've been watching my recent videos, I was thinking about getting a knife, but I didn't. But I didn't. But yeah, yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. Empty words. No, empty words. Empty words sometimes need to be spoken. That way, they don't sound so empty anymore. As a matter of fact, speaking about empty words, it feels like there's a little bit more weight on those empty words. So the empty words that I'm speaking, that I feel like I'm speaking to you, suddenly feel a little bit more heavy. All right. From the heart, this has been the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am Sean Ferrell. Peace.